In the following video, a woman who goes by the nickname Bulldog Mom is in her kitchen, casually watching a Mr. Balance story on her phone when she hears her daughter shouting in the living room. Watch. What's disturbing about this is that the noise only happens when she's home alone, and never when friends or family are around. When she posted the clip online, viewers jumped in with theories. Some suggested it might be a spirit trying to communicate. Others urged her to dig into the house's history, just in case something traumatic ever occurred there that left an imprint. But here's the creepy part. There's no pattern and no timing, just these random bursts of noise. She has reached out to a medium in hopes of getting some answers about if there's a spirit present and what exactly it wants. Until then, she's keeping her phone close, in case the noises return. This next clip was recorded around 3 a.m. when Kurhaz's young daughter suddenly wakes up, and what follows is hard to explain. Have a look.
It ain't nothing, baby. It's a dirty hand.
No!
See? It's the cover, look. It's the cover.
No!
You gonna mommy?
No.
It's dirty hand. It's my hand.
The little girl looks terrified, and she's staring at something no one else can see. She says she feels something touching her, but there's no one there. According to Kurhaz, this has been happening for weeks now. Every time around 3 a.m., her daughter wakes up terrified, unable to speak clearly, shaking and clutching her arms like she's being grabbed, and it doesn't end quickly. On this particular night, it lasted until 9:45 a.m., and she wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink, wouldn't sleep, and neither could her parents. Kurhaz writes, "As a mom, it's so hard to hold it together when something like this happens. They've taken her to several doctors, but every medical test comes back normal with no physical symptoms or psychological diagnosis. But here's where it gets even more unsettling. A neighbor mentioned something that made all this make sense. Apparently, the land their home was built on used to house an old orphanage that burned down over a century ago. Several children were trapped inside and never made it out. And now, every night at 3 a.m., her daughter seems to respond to something only she can see. It's as though a presence is reaching out to her, another child perhaps, who didn't want to be alone. Kurhaz contacted their family priest, and they performed a spiritual bath and house cleansing. Since then, things have been quiet. Just like the last clip, in this next video, Chandler is folding clothes when she hears her daughter, Nellie, yelling from the living room and arguing with someone. Thinking her little girl was just playing pretend again, she goes to check, only to find this. Nellie is yelling at someone or something, insisting it isn't their turn on the swing. But here's the disturbing part. They were completely alone in the house. And what started as a harmless outburst quickly spiraled. Nellie broke down crying uncontrollably, that Chandler had to drop her phone and rush to comfort her. But it took hours before the little girl could calm down. Even then, she kept pointing at different corners of the room, screaming, "No!" at something no one else could see. After finally falling asleep, Chandler reviewed the footage and shared it online. That's when viewers noticed something unsettling. Nellie didn't just fall. It looked like she was pushed. Chandler still doesn't know what her daughter saw that day, but Nellie hasn't played in that room since. Whatever she was pointing at, it made her cry like she was being warned, or worse, threatened. And if she really was pushed, it raises a darker possibility. Maybe it wasn't just a tantrum, and maybe something wanted her off that swing. But like other videos, I'll let you decide. In this next video, Silva is winding down for the night after hosting a small girls' night with her friends. The house is quiet, everyone's asleep, and she's doing a final sweep, switching off lights, powering down devices, and clearing up a few things before heading to bed. But then this happens.
Oh my god. No les miento. No hay nada prendido. Like, the TV's off. The computer's off. That phone is off. ¿Y si oyeron lo que se oía? Les voy a enseñar acá. Like, everything is off in here too. The kitchen, la idea está abierta porque la dejé abierta.
Even though every device was turned off, the TV, the speakers, even the phone, she could hear voices that sounded like someone was speaking. On the television, that was clearly powered down. So where was the sound coming from? Some viewers suggest it's the mirrors that are amplifying or even channeling energy from another realm. But not everyone buys that, and in Silva's case, it's hard to ignore the possibility. She later revealed this wasn't the first time strange things have happened in her home, and that she's been haunted for nearly 3 years. So while many urge her to move, she claims the presence in her home doesn't feel hostile, and that being haunted is just part of her routine now. But here's the question: can someone really get used to being haunted? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. If there's one thing that's helped prove the paranormal exists, it's cameras. Because while we might blink, turn away, or sleep, cameras never stop watching, and sometimes they catch things we can't explain. Dan had always told his friends there was something off about his house. Doors would slam without warning, lights flicker, but only when he walks past them. And late at night, the sound of someone walking down the hallway, even when he was the only one home. Still, his friends weren't convinced. So one night, before heading to bed, Dan sets up a camera and then this happens. Watch closely. The door doesn't just shut, it slams with force, and if it had been a draft, the nearby blinds and other things around the area should have moved, but everything else remained perfectly still. Now, combined with all the other bizarre incidents he'd experienced in that house, this footage sealed it for him. He was convinced something was living there, and it wasn't human. The following month, Dan and his family packed up and sold the house. Let's just hope whatever was inside didn't decide to follow them. There's something eerie about buying secondhand items, especially when you don't know where they've been or what they've been through. In this next clip, a man named Luke captures something bizarre happening with his washing machine. For context, he picked it up from a local thrift store a few weeks ago, but ever since bringing it home, he's noticed something isn't quite right. One quiet morning, Luke is on the phone in the living room when he hears an odd sound coming from the laundry area. So he grabs his camera and starts recording. Have a look.
My dryer is not even on and it's doing this noise.
Despite being completely empty and turned off, the machine keeps making this strange noise. What's even stranger is that every time Luke approaches the machine to check it out, especially when he opens the dryer door, the noise intensifies, as if whatever's inside doesn't want to be disturbed. He's had it checked twice by different repair specialists, and both times they said the same thing. The machine is in perfect working condition. So if it's not mechanical, then what is it? Luke is convinced there's something paranormal at play, but some viewers have offered alternative theories ranging from trapped air to magnetic interference. Whatever the truth is, no one really knows, and like many of the videos we've seen, this one remains unsolved. This next video comes from a well-known fitness coach, famous for his intense, no-excuse workouts. But one day, it wasn't the gym that had him sweating, it was something else. On a regular day, while cleaning his house one afternoon, this happens.
Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters, apparently, because I've made many videos in this house and I have never had any type of ghost activity, meaning can't see nothing, there's nothing to be heard on the thing, because I know sometimes cameras and voice recorders pick up other noises. Check this out. So here I was recording on Riverside. Listen to this. Tell me if you don't think it's spooky. It keeps going after that little clip I showed you. There's no kids in the house. Partner's not doing anything. I think it's time to do a cleansing. Or Ghostbusters. Somebody come get this thing out my house. Ugh.
If you listen closely, you'll hear a strange, unexplainable sound echoing through the house, and it clearly caught him off guard. He immediately stopped recording and reached out to a local ghost hunter, and also scheduled a full house cleansing, just to be safe. When he posted the clip online, many viewers said the sound felt peaceful, like a calm, protective energy, but he's not buying it. As he writes, "Ain't no spirits, good or evil, living in my house." After the cleansing, he hasn't heard anything like it since, and he hopes he never does again. On July 9th, 2025, a ghost hunter named Moxley sets out alone into a forest known for something few dare to even speak of, a haunted underground tunnel. Locals avoid the area entirely, but Moxley decided to explore the forest at night. Over the years, there have been countless reports, sightings of a woman in a red dress, shadow figures weeping, screaming, and most disturbingly, laughing. But no one stays long enough to get answers. He begins by investigating the forest perimeter, calling out to whatever might be there and inviting any presence to respond.
So you were a soldier. What year do you think it is?
Darkness.
Darkness. Can you see me? You see what I'm doing? Can you come and show yourself to me? Show me who you are.
Still hoping to communicate, he steps into the tunnel, but the moment he sets up his gear, everything shifts. He described it as an overwhelming wave of fear, like someone was standing right behind him, but when he turned around, no one was there.
Who's here? That's literally giving me goosebumps. Is there someone here? I'll turn it back again. No, seriously.
Wary of him.
Who have I got to be wary of? Every single time I turn my back. Can you tell me his name? Tell me who you are. Every time I turned my back then, there was a noise behind me like something was moving towards me. Was that you moving around behind me? If it was, can you tell me who you are? Move this camera back a little bit. Last time I was here, you said this was your grave, if I'm correct?
Am I dead?
I can't really answer that one.
Out.
Out. Do you want me to get out? Do you want me to leave? I'll leave if you want me to. This camera keeps losing focus. I tell you what, I'll leave if you want.
Shaken, he went back to the forest and encountered something even stranger, a conversation with a spirit that left him with more questions than answers.
It's been said that you like to scare people out of this place. Last time I was here, I said it earlier, you scared me out of those tunnels. Was there something with the tunnel? You're protecting something down in the family. You're protecting your family. Was your family buried down in the tunnels? I keep saying tunnels, there's just one tunnel. Was that your family's burial ground? Are you happy that they started to plant new trees here? Trying to save the land? Maybe you won't be so angry trying to scare people away. I might come back here and camp right in this spot. Would you be okay with me camping out here?
They killed me.
Right, I got that last time they killed me. Who killed you? Tell me their names. You said that last time I was here, that somebody killed you out here. Tell me their names, tell me your name. Getting that weird feeling like you're being watched. Are you watching me?
Still searching for clarity, Moxley made the bold decision to return to the tunnel, and that's when things took a dark, terrifying turn.
Oh, I can't stand in this.
Will you stay a while?
I can't stay in here for a while. This absolutely stinks. Right, this smells of sulphur. And it just smells of pure death. Can you stay a while? I don't think I'll be staying down here. I'm gonna go back upstairs. I can't cope with this smell. No, I need to go out. What the? What the? What the? What the? You there? You playing with me? Right. No. Let's get out of here. That stunk.
He started smelling sulfur in the air, and as they say, when you smell sulfur, the devil's not far behind. Suddenly, he felt a cold breath brush the back of his neck, but when he turned, there's no one there. This time, he didn't ask questions, he left immediately. Could it have been the woman in red who many say is the guardian of the tunnel? Or is there another explanation for what happened down there? Let me know your thoughts on this one. The following video is about a content creator named Carla Agnini, a woman known for sharing her journey through midlife adventures, cozy home moments, and the joys of an empty nest. But one quiet morning, while filming a simple video to show how peaceful her house can be, this happens. Watch.
If you are an empty nester, what does your house sound like regularly throughout the day? Because this is the sound of mine. It seriously drives my husband crazy that it is so quiet. And whenever he's home, he's... What in the world is that? Where did that music come from? I'm like way over here by the dishwasher. And this music just starts randomly playing. What in the heck? I don't even know what that is. It's like somebody was playing a joke on me because I said my house is so quiet. What? And what was that song? Now I think my house is haunted. Yeah, okay, we're gonna go with that.
Carla later confirms that the song was coming from her iPad, not Alexa. And the creepy part is, absolutely nothing was open to play music. No tabs, no apps, nothing. Even stranger, she had never heard that song before in her life, and she was alone in the house when it happened. Carla now believes her home might be haunted and that her empty nest just got a lot less empty. And honestly, she might not be wrong. When she posted the video, many viewers pointed out that spirits, especially those tied to the home, try to reach out using frequencies through electronics, manipulating sound, static, and in rare cases, even music. After reading through dozens of concerned comments, Carla decided to contact a local ghost hunter and has already set a date for a full spiritual sweep of her house. This next clip was recorded by Sharon, who has been experiencing very strange things in her home for weeks now, but either the activity happens too fast to capture or she's too scared to even remember to grab her phone. One night, she managed to capture this.
Oh
my god, there's nothing there. There's nothing.
Now here's the thing, Sharon lives in a one-story rancher. There's no upstairs or an attic space above that area of the house. So what or who was causing that strange noise? And this is where it gets even more disturbing. Sharon has experienced the same strange activity in every house she's lived in since her daughter was born. No matter where they move, it follows, and it's become so common that they've developed a routine. When it starts, they either leave the room or go outside for a walk until it stops. In the video she posted, Sharon included some unsettling details like how the dog starts growling and pacing seconds before the activity begins, how the temperature in the room suddenly drops even in the middle of summer, and how her and her daughter's mood changes sharply, as if something takes over. One minute they're calm, and the next they're angry, sad, or overwhelmed for no reason. But the scariest detail she gave is that every time it starts, she and her daughter feel their hair stand on end, like a shiver that doesn't go away. Given the consistency of the experience across multiple homes, many viewers believe the entity isn't haunting a location. It's attached to Sharon, or possibly to her daughter, or even an object they unknowingly bring with them from house to house. But I'll let you be the judge on that. What exactly do you think is going on here? Let me know your thoughts on this one. This next clip is about another terrifying night Kyle had in his apartment, following weeks of sharing videos that prove he's barely had a peaceful night's sleep. He has been experiencing unsettling banging sounds, objects moving without reason, and perhaps the creepiest of all, the sound of children laughing, even though Kyle lives alone and has no kids. Naturally, viewers grew concerned until someone pointed out something Kyle had casually shown in one of his earlier clips, a doll he keeps in the house, one he's named Shelly. One night, while Kyle was finally asleep, he started hearing children laughing, and when he woke up, this was what he saw.
The water's gone off 3 times. There it goes again. Goodness. What the hell? There's the light switch right there. I mean, there's another one there too. Okay. I didn't touch that. I did not touch that light switch. There's nobody there.
If you look at the light switch to the right, it's clear no one is near it, but then, right in front of him, the light suddenly goes off. Moments later, Kyle stands to show that the space is empty, and just as he does, the light in the kitchen begins to flicker. He later uploaded the video, and there was one thing nearly everyone pointed out, something Kyle hadn't even noticed at first. There were orbs floating through the shot, and many believe orbs are spiritual energy, a sign that something, or someone, is present. After that night, things got worse, and viewers began to warn him that whatever or whoever was behind the haunting seemed to be feeding off his fear. So Kyle decided to fight back and filmed himself doing a challenge where he was standing alone in the dark for 60 seconds, facing the fear head on. Watch what happened.
Can I withstand 60 seconds in the dark of my basement? I thought it'd be a good idea to try to overcome my fears since I live in a haunted house, so we're gonna try this. Let's get going. There's one. There we go. 60 seconds. How long is 60 seconds? Oh, this is already a bad idea. I don't like this. I don't like this at all, yo. What was that? Yo, no. No, we don't need to hear noises while we're down here. Fuck. Is it over? Is it over yet? Dang it, we got like 20 seconds? 20 seconds. Okay, I can do it, I can do it. Oh, what was that? I heard something. Yo, okay. Has it been 20? I don't know. The light switch won't work. Oh, shit. Okay.
What Kyle still can't wrap his head around is the fact that when he reached for the light switch to end the challenge, it didn't work. But when he checked it the next morning, everything worked perfectly, with no faults, no wiring issues, and not even a loose bulb. At this point, Kyle can't help but think there's a ghost in his house. In this next video, a man named Nick has been quietly taking care of his grandmother, who suffers from Alzheimer's. Her condition often makes her restless, wandering around the house, staring into empty corners, or talking to people who aren't there. But one night, what Nick captured was different. Take a look. His grandmother was standing still, as usual, but this time her dog began to growl and something else happened that not even Nick can explain, and viewers didn't miss it either. If you look closely, you'll notice the Roomba moving back and forth, almost like it's detecting someone standing in front of it. And just moments after that, something falls. But what really makes this moment unsettling is what fell. Watch this.
Alright, so this is in response to last night. My grandma loves to collect little figurines. One of my grandma's little angels fell off the fridge last night. You see how far back they are? Genuinely. I mean, the significance of an angel falling and not legitimately anything else she has.
Out of all the things placed on top of the fridge, it was a mini angel statue that fell. And what's odd is that the statue had been sitting far back, not near the edge. So how exactly did it tip over? According to Nick, nothing, and no one was near the Roomba at the time, so it's possible that it was reacting to something he couldn't see. Ever since that night, Nick hasn't felt the same about the kitchen, but the problem is his grandmother only has one working television in the house, and it's close to the kitchen. So every night, he has to sit there to watch his program. One night, while watching TV alone in the living room, Nick's camera caught this. Watch closely.
So, I was watching my show, and after last night, I'm definitely not leaving these lights on. But I was watching my show, and there's nothing there.
Not one, but both of his grandmother's dogs are caught on video standing alert and staring at the kitchen, completely still with their ears perked up. Now here's something to consider. Nick told viewers that his grandfather mentioned seeing his grandma standing in the dark kitchen late one night, but when he got up to check, no one was there. It's for reasons like that and moments like these that Nick is starting to feel seriously uneasy, but the night was far from over. A few moments later, Nick heard the sound of the ice maker going off, so he grabbed his phone and started filming again. This is what he caught.
Whoa. Whoa. Yo. Oh, that's cool. Jesus!
After Nick posted the video, viewers immediately picked up on a few details like the Roomba's behavior had been off all evening, moving in a straight, unnatural line, unlike how it usually detects and avoids walls or stairs. But more disturbing was the way it suddenly flipped even when there was nothing in its way. No object, no stairs, yet it spins and lands hard on its side, almost like something had forcefully knocked it over. It didn't also react to the stair's edge, something it's programmed to sense and avoid. And then there was the angel statue that didn't fall randomly. It fell as if something wanted it out of sight. To this day, Nick can't explain any of it, and it remains unknown as to what caused all these strange things, but whatever happened that night still haunts him. Now, this next video is about Tana, a mom and nurse practitioner who often shares heartfelt snippets of her daily life, but one particular video she shared recently had nothing to do with cozy mornings or toddler giggles. It was something much more unsettling. Have a look.
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
No.
Who are you talking to? Evelyn. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
You can see her 20-month-old daughter smiling, giggling, and reaching out like someone was right there in the room with her. The joy on her face suggests she was genuinely seeing someone, and many viewers were quick to say, maybe she was. Some believe she might have been seeing a loved one who passed, possibly an uncle watching over her, but others couldn't shake a different, more disturbing idea that whatever she was seeing wasn't her uncle at all, but something pretending to be, something that took on a familiar shape, just to be welcomed. It's a theory that's shown up before in stories like these, that children are more open to what we can't see, and sometimes that openness can attract something else. Still, no one can say for sure. Was this a sweet moment between a child and a spirit watching over her, or something more deceptive and dangerous? You decide. The following video was captured by Sammy's mom on a weekend, hours after she had just finished decorating the house for the little family get-together they were hosting. Sammy wasn't back from a few errands she was sent when her mom called her on the phone saying some strange things were happening in the house. Sammy told her to record whatever it was, and this is what she sent.
Okay, I look over and I see this. Now it's slowing down. There's nobody around playing with the chords. And it's still moving. Ever so slightly.
The hallway lights were moving in a slow, deliberate rhythm, and there were no open windows, no vents, and nothing else in the room was moving. It was as if something had chosen the lights to make itself known, and this kind of isolated movement, especially electrical fixtures, can indicate the presence of an energy trying to manifest itself. By the next morning, Sammy was alone in the house, and it was her turn to experience what had now become a terrifying pattern.
So I'm here by myself, and I'm hearing like weird noises. That noise that you just heard is my dog down there. But I'm hearing like whispering and like things moving around about in that direction. I don't know. My dog's ears are up because I think he can hear it too. Okay, I have no clue what that was. Is that you making that noise? No? Okay. What? I have no clue what is going on.
It started with a soft voice, distant but steady. Then it sounded like someone was humming and whispering. The truth is, hearing voices is disturbing on its own, but when the family dog reacts and starts staring into corners with ears perked and tail down, it's never a good sign, and usually means one thing: something's really there. A few days later, it escalated.
So I decided to visit my best friend after work today, and I got here before they did, and there's literally, I walked in here and like something started knocking on the back door back there. You can hear it. Stop! Now, okay, so you might think it might be the neighbor or something, or like a dog or something at the door, but look. We're on the second floor. And there's like literally nobody. There's like nobody here. And I'm by myself. I thought we were done with this crap. Okay.
Their first experience was with light, then voices, and now knocks. In many cases, these knocks aren't just noises, but intentional communications, a way of letting you know you're not alone. At this point, people Sammy had shared the videos with urged her to sage the home, because spirits like this tend to feed off fear and attention. and the more you acknowledge them, the stronger they get. And they were right. A few nights later, she heard a sound like someone crying inside the small storage room, but when she got closer, it stopped, and she caught this on camera. After this strange activity, a new theory began to surface. A lot of people started voicing their opinions saying maybe it wasn't just the house, but the spirit was attached to Sammy herself. She wasn't ready to believe it, but after visiting a friend's home to get a break from the chaos, something unsettling happened there too.
So, I just recorded a video in my bathroom about the situation that happened the other day about the shower curtain. And little disclaimer here before I show you that. This is the only light switch for this bathroom. Like, there's no light switch out here on the wall or over there. There's no other light switch. This is the only one for this bathroom. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay. Hey guys, back in the bathroom again. So as you saw in the video the other day, something happened with the shower curtain. So we're gonna have a look at it and see if there's anything in the shower this fine day. So we looked in here last time and there wasn't.
This was a completely different location, and at this point, Sammy wasn't only thinking about cleansing her house, because if the spirit is really attached to her, she needs to find a solution to that as well. This was certainly a case of attachment haunting, when a spirit forms a connection to a person rather than a place. Most times, it starts with environmental activity, but when the person leaves and the entity follows, it becomes something much more serious. Before leaving her friend's place, Sammy sent her footage to a ghost hunter for a full review, and he confirmed that those comments might be more than just speculation. We can only hope she gets the help she needs before the spirit makes its next move. This next clip is about a single mother named Sydney who lived with her young son in a house that is over 100 years old. From the moment they moved in, Sydney sensed something wasn't quite right, and this wasn't just creaky floors or flickering lights. There were nights when she'd walk into her son's room and find dirt and soot scattered in perfect circles on the floor. Once, she even discovered a pair of muddy handprints on the ceiling above his bed. Handprints too small for an adult, but with 6 fingers. But the most unsettling thing was that, at least twice, she walked into her son's room and found every single toy positioned upright, all facing the same direction toward the hallway, as if waiting for something. After a few days, the activity stopped and things felt normal again, so Sydney went back to taking night shifts while her sister came over to babysit. One night, her sister and her son were curled up on the couch watching SpongeBob when this happened.
SpongeBob night.
SpongeBob's awesome.
Liam, come here. Liam, right now. What is happening? Okay, I'm calling your mom. Just stay right here.
The empty rocking chair suddenly began to swing back and forth like someone was sitting there, enjoying the show. And you know the saying, you should never leave a rocking chair empty, because doing so is an invitation spirits rarely turn down. Sydney's sister contacted her immediately, and she told her sister to grab her son and head straight to a friend's house nearby. There was no way she was letting them spend the night alone in that place. The next day was a Friday, so Sydney decided to stay with her son, and this time she set up a camera in the living room. This is what she caught. In old houses that are already layered with so much time and energy, spirits don't just exist, they compete, so throwing things could be a warning, a tantrum, a demand for space, or worse, a sign they're becoming stronger. After reviewing the footage, Sydney contacted a professional ghost hunter who arrived the next day. And what he sensed wasn't just a single entity, not even two. There were 7 distinct spirits in that house. Some restless, some angry, and some, he said, didn't even know they were dead. Cleansing a house with that much activity won't be easy. In fact, experts say that in older buildings, spirits often resist being forced out. Some return, some retaliate, and some never leave at all. We wish her luck. The following clip is about Emma, a simple lady who had been disturbed for weeks with strange noises, shadows where there shouldn't be, and a lingering sense that something was always just behind her. Coincidentally, it all seemed to start after her sister moved out of the house, leaving something behind, a Ouija board. Ever since then, Emma's home has felt off, like someone else or something else moved in. Now she's asking for help. Not just to stop the haunting, but to understand what exactly she's living with, because what she's been experiencing so far, it's not normal. One of the most chilling things Emma talks about is the mimicking activity. She says she hears her daughter calling out to her, sometimes from the bathroom, sometimes from the stairs, but when she checks, her daughter isn't even home. This is a paranormal activity often linked to malevolent entities. You see, spirits capable of copying voices often do it to draw people in, break their guard, or cause confusion and fear. One day, Emma was able to capture this on camera.
You guys, I'm freaking out. Okay, my son is gone. He's not home. He's at a party. Yeah, I know I look like shit. I don't care. I just got woken up. There's been a mimic here for a couple weeks. When my daughter's not here, I hear her say my name and she's not there. I ignore it because I know it's a mimic. I have seen it on here. My daughter's home, but my son's not home. My son is the only one that lives upstairs. The only one upstairs. All night since he's been gone, I keep hearing, like, the door close. Like, it'll just shut. But... Sorry. So, anyway. So, my son's not home, but I keep hearing the door shut. But there's nobody up there. There's nobody up there. I'm going to see if I could try to... And let me take you guys... I'll take you guys up there and show you there's nobody up there. But let's see if we can catch it. I'm so scared. Normally I don't get scared, but hearing the door close like a freaking human is up there, and I already went up there once and I checked and nobody or nothing was up there. So I went up there and I checked all the rooms and in the attic, and there's nobody up there, but I keep hearing his bedroom door close, or like somebody's walking up there, but he's not here. I don't know what my dog's barking at. But I hope we catch it on camera because this is freaking creeping me out. The stairs right now. Did you hear that? It sounds like somebody's walking up there. Bro, my eyes are watering. This is scaring me. Hold on. Oh my god, as soon as I stopped it, I heard it. I know you guys heard that. I hope I caught that. Did you hear it? Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm scared. Okay, I'm gonna turn. Look, nobody's up here. Oh my god. Look at his door is closed. Oh my god. Nope, 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 nope. I gotta tell my daughter, boo boo. Oh my god. There's water in my eyes. Oh my god. Why does it sound like, and I recorded it. It sounds like somebody's in your brother's room. And I went up there to show that the door was closed. Tell me why his door opened when I went up there. I swear. I ran down here by myself. I'm recording it. Come up there with me to show them nobody's here. Oh my god. That made my eyes water, you guys. I showed it on camera. My son is not home. I'm not going to stop the recording just so I can show you guys.
That's scary.
I know, I ran down here. I ran down here so fast. Okay. Oh my god, that scared me. And it sounds like somebody's walking around up there, and I got it on recording. Yes, hold on. Look at his door's moving. Okay, we're gonna go up there and I'm gonna show you guys nobody is in his room. He is not here. Turn your flashlight on. Oh my god. Hurry up and come up here so you can point it to show nobody's in the room. Look. Look. Nobody's in here. Nobody.
Look, even Pixie.
You guys literally, you seen that in real time with me. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm freaking out. Oh no. I told you guys. And there's been that mimic. And my daughter has heard it when I'm not here. It says my name, or it says her name in my voice when I'm not here. And it says my name in her voice when I'm not here. And, or when she's not here. And now that's happening. Look at my dog. Oh, fuck no, fuck no. Fuck, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not coming under the side of the house no more. Oh my god.
In the paranormal world, doors don't just shut for no reason because spirits are believed to manipulate energy, using it to isolate or intimidate. This was especially terrifying for Emma because there were no windows open, no fans, no one else in the room, and the footsteps only made things worse. Emma also noticed her dog was always staring at the attic door every single night, so she took a phone and went there.
Okay, I gotta show you guys this too. So that video of, I'm telling you my house is haunted. Look, up here, there's the attic. I hear noises up there in my room, and so does my dog. Look, there's my dog. Okay, hold on. He's been doing this crazy thing lately. Look. Like he hears something up there. Come on, you guys. Like, there's nothing in my attic. I've shown you guys this in videos in the past, but he's going crazy. Like, look, he even broke my TV recently because he fell onto it. But it's like he's hearing stuff in the attic, and he's like whining at it and barking, and he's jumping up at my light to get to whatever's in the freaking attic. He broke this piece off. So this piece was part of that. And because he's been hearing whatever he's been hearing the past like week or two in the attic, he's going crazy and jumping up at it. He ended up pulling this down, but that's what he keeps doing. I'm so glad I caught it on camera. I'm so glad. Like, I just got home. I've been at my daughter's the past couple days because of it. But, like, look at him. He's going crazy over whatever he is hearing up there. Okay, I'm going to take you up there and show you. There's nothing and nobody in there. So why is my dog freaking out? All of this stuff happening is freaking me out. Hold on. All right, so let me show you guys. So this is the stairs, right? It leads down the stairs. Okay, that is our spare room. That's our attic. This is my son's room that was happening in when he wasn't in there. But now that he's home, it's happening in the attic. I'm not gonna stop it, but I'm gonna show you guys. Watch. That's how we keep the attic closed. Scared. All right. I have the chills. I don't know if you can see, but I have the chills so bad. I hate coming up here. This is my attic. Okay. Over there, that is my bedroom. That long heater thing, that's the heater that divides my bedroom and the dining room. That's where my dog is hearing something. And when he hears it, he's jumping up and going crazy. And it sounds like footprints, just like what was in my son's room the other day. It sounds like there's someone up here like walking around, because you can hear like, see on the board. And then my dog will hear it, and my dog will go crazy. As you can see, it just happened, and my dog was just going crazy. I'm closing that. I do not like being in here ever since this has been happening. So, as I said, and then that's the spare room. The other day, that door opened, and this door is not easy to open. Like, it has a lock and everything. And the only thing in here is our dragon's tank and a bed. The paint is messed up. I know my niece lived in here. She started repainting it, and then they moved out, and now that's what it looks like. But so that's all that's up here. And all these doors are always closed. I told my son, I showed him the video of what was going on in his room the other night, and he even said that his door sometimes would just open out of nowhere, and he was wondering why. And he has been hearing things too, which I never knew because he never said anything to me until recently. So we're all hearing this at the house. I need to cleanse this house or something, because I cannot be here much longer with this. Neither can my kids. Like, we're getting so scared of being here.
Now it's one thing to hear things, it's another thing when your kids start hearing the same voice calling them from different corners of the house. It got worse when her son showed her marks on his back with no idea how those marks got there. She also continued dealing with doors closing upstairs when no one's up there and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. Even when she's alone, at this point, Emma didn't feel safe anymore. Not for her, not for her kids, not even for her dog. She reached out to their family priest, and thankfully, she now has a date set for a full spiritual cleansing. Based on the voice mimicry, the door movement, the scary marks, and the dog's constant reaction to a specific spot in the house, I strongly suspect this is more than just a spirit. It's a demon. The following clip was recorded by a woman named Angelina while she was at the infamous Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, a place many believe to be one of the most haunted hotels in America. Over the years, guests and investigators have reported hundreds of strange encounters here, but what Angelina experiences is subtle but deeply unsettling. It's around 6 a.m. and she's enjoying a quiet morning on the balcony with her coffee. When this happens, watch.
Sydney, there's a ghost singing out here. I'm not even kidding you. Come here. Come here. Just sit out here. Just sit there. It sounds like it's coming right next door, and it's not. Nobody's there. I looked. Just sit down. It'll happen. Are you glad I woke you up? What? Are you glad I woke you up? You would want me to, right? Where is it? It's supposedly coming from over there, but it stops and goes and goes. It's real. You'll hear it. Just sit and listen. Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
If you turn your volume up, you'll hear the soft voice of a woman humming an old-fashioned tune, almost like something out of the 1920s. Now here's the strange part. She thinks about waking her daughter so she wouldn't have to experience this alone, but something tells her the sound would stop if she wakes her daughter, and that's exactly what happens. The moment her daughter joins her, the sound disappears completely. Angelina later writes, "I've had a ghost talk to me, grab my hand and poke my back all night long." But this felt different, exciting, but also unnerving, because when she checked, there was no one nearby. After she posted the video, several viewers shared their own terrifying and strange experiences at the same hotel. One person even pointed out that the balcony she filmed from closely resembles the one tied to the legend of the Lady in White, one of the Crescent Hotel's most well-known spirits said to have fallen from that very spot. Now, Angelina has concluded that something paranormal occurred here, but as always, I'll let you be the judge on that. What exactly do you think happened during this recording? Let me know your thoughts on this one. This next clip was recorded by a couple who prefer to go by their initials, K and T. After a year of silence, they are finally speaking up about the strange happenings in their home, like hearing whispers in empty rooms, doors opening on their own, and hearing sounds of heavy breathing just outside their bedroom door at night. But the strangest part is, it only happens when they talk about it. Almost like whatever's living with them is listening. At first, they tried to ignore it, but one morning, while preparing breakfast, they heard that same familiar sound. And this time, they grabbed their phones to finally catch it on camera. Watch this.
Alright, TikTok, here's our door. Hinges to the ground, okay. The handle up behind and down. Okay, that's everything. Can you close the door? Yes.
Can you close the door? Brittany, please?
They've had this particular door checked by professionals multiple times, even replaced it 3 times in 1 year, just to rule out drafts or faulty hinges. But after all that, and everything else they've experienced, they've come to a conclusion. It's not the door, it's a ghost. Now, they've contacted a medium to figure out what the spirit wants. Now, this next clip comes from a woman named Kaylee, and to be honest, everyone who has seen this video can't wrap their heads around why she's still living in that house. She's been hearing strange sounds, like something heavy being rolled across the upstairs bedroom floor, but what she captured on video one night says otherwise.
I heard a noise. I know I did. Came from that room this bedroom like it always does. Did you guys hear that? I know I probably seem crazy right now, and that's fine. That's valid.
Watch closely. You'll notice the door moving on its own, along with faint tapping sounds. At the time, that's all she gets on camera, but things only got worse. The next night, Kaylee records again, just to prove she's not losing her mind, and this happens.
Did you see that? I don't think I'm gonna go through that door. I think I'm gonna come around this way. Stop, please. Oh my god, come on. Oh my did you hear that? 3 knocks. I have goosebumps. I don't know if you can tell, but I am a little freaked out this time. Oh shit, I left the attic unlocked. Attic lock check gone wrong because I left that shit unlocked. It's fine though. Did you guys see that though? When I was on the other side of this door. Damn, that shit opened fast. Just gonna one last peek in the living room. Okay.
After posting the video, she joked that it had to be her husband messing with her, but viewers weren't buying it. Some pointed out something Kaylee didn't notice at the time, a faint woman's chuckle right after she says, "Did you see that?" Others mention how there were no footsteps or shadows visible, and if someone had actually been nearby, there should have been some kind of movement or they could have heard footsteps. But the most unsettling thing was the fact that she had dolls. Viewers couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, especially with the way the dolls were positioned and the way they looked. A few days later, Kaylee is meditating upstairs in her usual chair when a strange, low-pitched vibration starts out of nowhere. She tries to ignore it, but after 2 minutes, it doesn't stop, so she gets up to investigate. That's when she sees this.
Goosebumps. This has never happened before. Ever. I was meditating right there like I always do. What the f? I'm genuinely so freaked out. I never get freaked out like this. What the f?
A candle holder, vibrating all on its own. There's no fan, no heater, no air current, nothing that could explain it, but it doesn't stop there. What happens next takes things to a whole new level. You'll notice that nothing else in the room is moving, which rules out a draft. But more than what she could see, Kaylee also says that in that moment, she could feel a heavy presence, like someone was standing right behind her, but she was home alone. She has been finding ways to rationalize the strange events that have been happening in her house, but this time, she had nothing. And from this moment, the activity in the house escalated. She couldn't sleep, became restless, and night after night, the tension in the house only grew. Finally, one evening, she decides to sleep in a specific Airbnb room where the activity tends to spike, and to record everything. This is what she captures.
Hey, Betsy. Where is it? It was on the floor last time. I couldn't find it. Do you guys see it? And I'm just blind. Not sure where that came from, but damn, I really didn't want to lose that chain. But I guess that is a sign. And no, I don't know why this W is here. It was there when we moved in.
The tapping start again. Sharp, deliberate, and too consistent to be written off as water pipes or heating systems. What's even more disturbing is that the tapping sounds match the ones she's heard before, particularly in the downstairs living room. But what really unsettled viewers came later when Kaylee opened the attic, the creepy looking doll that sat alone on the blanket. Kaylee even gave it a name, Betsy, and apparently in a previous clip she shared, there was a chain line on the blanket next to Betsy. But now, it had completely vanished. Many viewers, however, commended her for being brave enough to even enter that attic, especially at night, and for the fact that with all the strange activities going on in this house, Kaylee and her husband still feel oddly at peace in the home. They've received countless messages urging them to leave, to cleanse the space, even to burn sage and get rid of the dolls. But according to them, something about the energy feels innocent, like whatever's there doesn't want to hurt them, it's just part of the home and they're willing to coexist with it. We wish them luck and hope whatever is living in that house continues to mean no harm. In the following video, Kyle was getting ready to head out with his fiancée when something strange caught his attention. Now, according to Kyle, unusual things have been happening around his house for a while now. Aggressive banging, the creepy sound of children laughing, and things moving right in front of his eyes. Every time something truly strange happened, Kyle wasn't always able to record it, but this day, he was prepared. Have a look. After closing the door, a low, deep growling starts echoing from inside. Then the lights begin to flicker, quickly followed by bizarre sounds that he can't quite explain. It gets worse when what sounds like knocking begins, but no one's in the room. Kyle believes something or someone didn't want them leaving the house, but what happened next felt less like a warning and more like a threat.
Let's go smoke. Damn. I don't think I should have burned that book, yo. I keep hearing something.
He only noticed it later, while reviewing the footage, that there was a distorted voice, almost like a whisper layered beneath the noise. And if you look closely, his cat clearly senses it too. It runs, then starts moving like it's tracking something invisible. Then the knocking sound starts again, louder this time, so Kyle tries to trace it, moving from room to room. And then he opens a door with a distinctive creak. If you listen closely right after that, you'll hear faint voices. Some viewers say it sounds like someone speaking, others say it's unintelligible, but whatever it is, it's enough to rattle anyone. Also, earlier in the video, Kyle casually mentioned something odd, a book he shouldn't have burned, and that might be where all of this started. Here's the backstory. He found an old, worn Raggedy Ann book stuffed deep inside a closet that looked ancient and creepy, so he got rid of it by burning it. But ever since that day, the activity in the house has only intensified. Shadows would appear briefly at the corner of his vision, only to vanish the moment he looked directly at them. Kyle is now convinced that destroying the book didn't get rid of the energy tied to it, it released it. And honestly, that tracks with what many believe about burning objects tied to spiritual energy. The belief is that burning strange or cursed objects doesn't destroy them, it releases the energy trapped inside. If that's true, Kyle may have accidentally set something free. Some viewers are convinced he's dealing with a haunting, possibly even something darker like a demon. Others think there might be another explanation entirely. But as with many of these cases, this one remains a mystery. The following video was captured by Callie Payne after weeks of experiencing unexplainable events in her apartment. One night, she heard scratching, like fingernails dragging across the walls from inside. Another day, it's the sound of someone pacing on her balcony, even when it's empty. But on this particular morning, shortly after finishing breakfast, she caught this on camera.
Oh my god.
Now, this wasn't the first time her front door had opened and slammed itself shut. In fact, after the first incident, she called an artisan to inspect the hinges, the alignment, even the air vents. Nothing was wrong, and there was no logical reason for the way that door moved. With everything else that's been happening, like footsteps, cold drafts in sealed rooms, flickering hallway lights that seem to respond to movement, there's only one explanation that makes sense. There's a spirit in that apartment. She's planning to sage the entire place, and we can only hope it's enough to send the spirit back to where it came from. This next clip was recorded by an adventurous woman named Amber Nicole, who isn't new to paranormal activities, so she didn't think twice before signing the lease on her new apartment, even after learning what happened there. The previous tenants had lost their mother in that very house, and according to them, her spirit never really left. Every night, at the exact time she passed, strange sounds echoed through the home, soft moaning, then tapping, sometimes a sharp knock. Objects would shift slightly, drawers would click open on their own, but they couldn't take it, so they left. This information didn't bother Amber, so she picked the place anyway, and for the first week, the only thing she had to deal with was the noises. Her best bet was headphones, so she simply wore headphones when they began, but after a few days, other activities started. One afternoon while she was trying to prepare lunch, this happened. Amber believes the spirit of the mother still has strong opinions, especially about how she runs the house. She's convinced that the ghost hates when she leaves the refrigerator door open, and it's not just that. If she places items in the wrong spot, like putting the sugar jar on the wrong counter or misplacing the kitchen towels, before she even turns back around, they're back where the ghost seems to want them. To Amber, this isn't haunting. It's a housemate with very firm rules. And as far as she's concerned, they found a rhythm, and she's content living with the spirit, and honestly, We just hope it stays this way. You ever get that feeling that a house picked you instead of the other way around? That's how Kyle Anthony described it after moving into his new place. It looked normal enough, but something about it just didn't sit right. He'd hear knocking sounds from nowhere and faint voices always at night, but the house was old, so he concluded it was the structure settling, until one day, curiosity got the better of him. He realized he'd never actually checked the attic, so he grabbed a flashlight and found a creepy old doll, a rusted tin bowl filled with plastic eyeballs, and a small trinket box that rattled when he shook it, but wouldn't open. There were other odd objects too, things he couldn't even explain, all just sitting there, untouched. But everything changed one night at exactly 3:45 a.m. when the knocking returned, louder than ever. Then, a man's voice whispered, "It's almost time." Kyle grabbed his camera and stepped out to check. This is what he caught.
Gosh dang it, kitty. I guess we're getting no sleep tonight, y'all. I got woken up a little while ago. As you can see, there was knocking sounds. I heard a voice. What woke me up was, I swear I heard something say, "It's almost time. It's almost time." It was a man's voice. And then I started hearing knocking. So I got up, started going around through the house, turned on the lights on, and you heard some of it. It just keeps happening, it keeps happening, it keeps happening. I swear. What? I guess I'm just gonna be staying up now. Let's see what time it is. 3:45 a.m. All right. I guess we're just gonna be up for the day now.
What really caught people off guard in this footage was the cats. They were calm, completely unfazed, and that confused a lot of people, because cats are known to be highly sensitive to spiritual energy. But here's a possibility. In rare cases, experts say that when a spirit is old, like very old, its energy can become almost residual, like part of the house itself. Some also believe cats are spiritual protectors and are able to detect negative energy, but not always disturbed by it unless it poses a threat. The video was sent to the ghost hunter and is pending review. We can only hope that Kyle receives the help he deserves. This next clip was recorded by a woman named Claire, who recently bought an old barn on the edge of town. It seemed like a dream come true, quiet, private, and perfect for her horses, but every time she went there, it always felt like she wasn't alone. One night, she decided to bring her camera with her, just in case, and this is what she caught. If you listen closely, just before the video ends, there's a whisper, soft and quick, but she swears she was completely alone. And that's not the only strange part. She pointed out that her horse is usually calm and friendly, but this night he was suddenly antsy, stomping, breathing hard, and refusing to go near the far end of the barn. It's often said that animals, especially horses, are incredibly sensitive to spiritual energy, and when they act like that for no visible reason, it means they're sensing something you can't. Claire has now contacted a local investigator, and they're digging into the history of the barn. Not many people would go ahead and live in a house that's surrounded by haunting rumors, so we have to give Lila some credit, because despite everything she'd heard, she moved into her parents' old apartment, fully aware of the stories. According to locals, a man named Ray took his own life in that house back in 1969, and ever since then, people who live nearby have always said there was something off about that place. Every night since she moved in, a shadowy figure of a man stands at her bedroom door. Doors creak open on their own, despite the house being locked tight, and Lila says she sometimes hears dragging footsteps in the hallway, like someone pacing restlessly, waiting, and she wakes up with the distinct scent of men's vintage cologne lingering in her room even though no one had visited. One night after coming home from work, this happened.
Ray? Hello?
What makes this clip even more disturbing is that the lamp she captured wasn't even plugged into any power source, and with her dog barking at the exact same hour each night, always in the direction of the hallway where the shadow stands, Lila's convinced Ray's ghost is still in the house. She's already contacted a medium to help her figure out what he wants. We hope she gets answers before the visits become something more. Tom recently took a trip to St. Augustine, a city with a long, haunted history, and while he was there, he decided to sign up for one of those ghost investigation tours. But here's the thing, he ended up being the only person on the tour besides the guide. The guide took him to an old building that had once served as a colonial jail, and in one of the rooms where they stopped to rest, this happened. You can clearly see the flashlight turned on by itself, then slowly rolled off the table like someone invisible gave it a little nudge. That night, Tom barely slept, because no matter where he placed that flashlight, in his bag, in the drawer, even on a windowsill, it always ended up back on the floor. But that wasn't even the worst part. He says the whispers he heard got louder the closer it got to 3 a.m. And there was this constant, rhythmic tapping, like fingernails scratching lightly along the metal bed frame, that didn't stop until sunrise. To make it even creepier, his phone's voice recorder, which he hadn't touched, activated on its own, and when he checked the file, there were no voices, just whispers in a language he couldn't recognize, like chanting. With everything he experienced that night, Tom is convinced there was a ghost, maybe several in that room, and after what happened, he's not sure he'll ever do a solo ghost tour again. The following clips were recorded by Abby's family who, instead of a Merry Christmas, got a terrifying one. They were decorating the attic for storage when they found an old, dusty photo album filled with black and white portraits of people no one in the family recognized, and most of the faces had their eyes scratched out. A few days after Christmas, Abby was alone in the living room when she decided to set up her camera, and this is what she caught. If you listen closely, you'll hear a faint whisper, then the chair starts moving on its own. The family's aware they're not alone in the house, and while skeptics online were quick to say it looked staged, Abby decided to respond directly.
So I got a lot of replies like this one, and I just chose one to reply to. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I'm not trying to fight with anybody. If someone doesn't think this is real or that there is a ghost or whatever, that is fine. Not everyone believes in ghosts. In fact, I didn't believe in ghosts before this happened to me, or not everyone is going to believe everything that someone posts on the internet, and that's fine. I don't have enough time to argue with people. My husband did not just get out of that chair. He was actually coming from the back of the house where he was putting away laundry and was walking through that hallway. I didn't make that as clear like in the first video when I said he was putting laundry away. I meant to say like he was back there. He was not in that living room with me, sitting in that chair. I know a lot of people, for good reason, are worried about me still being in this house and everything. I'm no longer afraid of the ghost or spirit. We'll call her Gertie. I'm pretty sure I know who she is. I have seen her. I won't talk about that right this second because I don't want this video to be like super long. I'm just trying to answer some quick questions, but I originally was afraid of her. I'm not now. I think that she's a good person and that she's just there to maybe like enjoy Christmas. She only shows up around Christmas time when Christmas decorations are out. So I think that she just really likes Christmas and like seeing my kids enjoy the holidays. She had a lot of kids, if it's who I think she was. Who I think she is there were two previous owners before we lived here, and one of them was, I think I replied to a comment where someone said that they thought it was a person in their mid to late 40s, a lady in their mid to late 40s. And I said, oh my gosh, that's the same age as the lady that passed when she lived here. I was wrong about that. She was actually 56 when she passed, but close enough. And they had built this house, her and her husband, and she didn't really get a chance to live in it very long before she passed away. She passed away in the late 80s, so I have no idea. I have searched to see how she passed or anything about her, to see a picture or whatever, and I cannot find one. I have a friend who's a better internet sleuth than I am on it, so maybe we'll find out some more information. But yeah, that's who I think she is, and I do not think that she is harmful. If you have any other questions, specific questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments. It's very hard for me to make a bunch of content. I'm a stay-at-home mom to a toddler, and I have 2 older kids in school, so I'm constantly running them around. So when I have time, TikTok is just for fun for me. I will make videos and try to answer all your questions. But thanks so much for having some interest in my ghost stories. I know a lot of people like to hear this kind of thing, which is why I decided to throw it out here on TikTok.
Interestingly, a few viewers backed up her story, claiming they'd heard about the history of the house and its former owners. While it might seem odd to some that her family is staying put and getting used to the paranormal activity, others can't help but ask, what happens when the ghost gets angry? Well, we wish them luck. The following video was captured by Will, a young TikToker who had been quietly enduring something terrifying until it got so bad he finally decided to speak up. For a while now, he could be in his room and suddenly every appliance would shut off. Lights, fan, even his phone charger, but somehow the TV would remain on. At first, he thought it was just faulty wiring or a glitch, but things got worse. He started experiencing a strange, persistent itch all over, and when he visited multiple hospitals and ran countless tests, every single doctor told him the same thing. We couldn't find any cause. They prescribed antihistamines, skin ointments, but nothing worked, and the itching wouldn't stop. Then one night, while all his roommates were fast asleep upstairs, Will found himself wide awake, partly because of the itching, but mostly because he could feel something was off. So he grabbed his phone and hit record. This is what he caught on camera.
I barely had a lot of sleep. A lot of shit's been going on, all the scratching, all the fucking everything. So I'm recording right now just to hopefully catch something, and if I do, I just want to prove to you guys that I'm actually alone. My roommates are all upstairs, so as soon as something's happening, like I'm just watching the friggin' door, as soon as something's happening, I'm booking it right inside there. I'm gonna film all the space, all like everything. I'm gonna close the door right behind me, and I'm gonna make sure that I want to show you guys that I'm actually alone in this. Oh shit. Yo, the light's like turning on and off, bro. The doorknob. Yo, I gotta show you guys I'm actually alone. Look at this bull.
The lights flickered and the doorknob twisted on its own, as if something was trying to get in or out. And when he posted the video online, most of the viewers agreed on one unsettling possibility. If it's itching, it's probably a demon. Also, the doorknob was moving on its own, so it could mean the entity was trying to assert control, a known tactic of malicious spirits to instill fear or break boundaries. Still, not everyone believed him, and a few skeptics commented, why didn't he just go check? Well, Will did go check.
Yo, I gotta show you guys I'm actually alone. Look at this bullshit. Look at this bullshit. Look. Turning on the light as soon as I walk in. Okay, closing the door. Yo. I'm telling you, anytime I walk in, there's like literally nobody. This has been going on for like a couple days now, dude. Look, watch. I'll turn on the light, okay? Nobody. Behind the door, nobody, okay? Going through this freaking door, which is just really scary in here. Nobody. Guys, tell me what the f is going on.
The room was empty, the lights were manually controlled, and the strangest part, this wasn't even the first time this had happened, and many of those times Will had been completely home alone. A few days later, he returned home from work to an even more terrifying experience.
So, I just got home from work. Yeah, this is what I came home to. I'm literally only going to assume that my roommates is trying to pull a prank on me. I'm gonna quickly close this, push all this, close this door behind me, just in case anything happens. What? You serious? They're trying to pull a prank. This is one hell of a prank. Oh shit. Oh hell nah. Hell to the no. Everything. Oh my god. I'm out of here. Yep, I am done.
The entire house was a mess, and at first he wanted to believe it was a prank pulled by one of his roommates, but then he noticed something unusual, a creepy, old-fashioned doll. Shortly after seeing this, things spiraled out of control. Will was certain this time a spirit was living in that house with them, so later that evening, he set up a camera in the exact room where most of the strange activity seemed to happen, and what the footage revealed was disturbing.
Alright. Let's get you some camera.
Exactly 2 hours and 18 minutes in, it began. First the lights, then the cabinet doors started opening and slamming over and over again, with no one in the room. After seeing this, Will wasted no time and reached out to a spiritualist for protection, and after a thorough investigation, he learned something shocking. His roommates had also been experiencing strange things for months, but they always assumed it was one of the others playing a prank. Even worse, the house had a history. The previous resident had packed up and left without notice, and never told anyone why. Now, it was all starting to make sense. We hope the protection Will and his roommates received is strong enough to drive this angry spirit out for good. You know how people always say a fresh start fixes everything? New job, new town, new place to live. It sounds good on paper, but for Kenny, that fresh start came with something no one could have warned him about. From the moment he settled in, little things began to feel off, like his phone alarm ringing every night at 3:07 a.m., even when he didn't set it. And the mirrors? They fogged up with handprints too large for a child and too small to be his. Also, his bathroom sink would be filled with dead beetles. But everything changed one morning at 4 a.m. when he was lying in bed, contemplating whether to get up for work or call in sick.
There's somebody banging on my door here. Who's there? Who's there? Who's there? Who? What the? Holy f***, creeps me out, man. What the?
If you listen carefully, just before Kenny opens the door, you'll hear a faint woman's voice, but when he opened the door, no one's there. As the new guy in town, this rattled him, so he told his neighbor about it, and pretty soon, the story spread. Then, one day, on his way home from work, a strange woman walked up to him slowly, then looked straight at him and whispered, "Leave." Kenny turned to see if anyone saw what happened, but when he looked back, she was gone. She vanished, like she'd never been there. He looked around to ask a few people standing close to him if they had seen her, but they all said the same thing. "We didn't see anyone. You must be imagining things." That night, Kenny packed every single thing he owned in that house and never went back. And honestly, I doubt a single one of you would be unfazed in a situation like this. This next clip was recorded by a man named Dan, a new convert who had been enduring terrifying, unexplained experiences in his home for several months. At night, Dan would wake up with his entire body frozen, as if something heavy was sitting on his chest. Other nights, he'll hear scratching, not just on the walls, but under his bed, in the ceiling, and sometimes right beside his pillow. There were nights when he'd find muddy footprints leading from his front door to his bedroom, footprints that didn't match any of his shoes. Eventually, the lack of sleep and growing fear began to change him. He became withdrawn, and people at work noticed he was different. More anxious, more distracted, sometimes even confused, but they all thought he was depressed. Eventually, a concerned friend brought him to a spiritual guardian who listened quietly, then gave Daniel very specific instructions on what to do. One night, he got up ready to face his greatest fear at the moment, and this is what happened.
Ow. Okay, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, I ask you, Jesus, for healing in this home. I ask you to take these demons away from my house.
What the camera captured was terrifying. Loud bangs, furniture moving without being touched, then the front door opening like something had left. Paranormal experts say demons don't just haunt homes, they break people down, and when confronted, they fight back. In this case, it did, but the prayer clearly affected it, and after the chaos, the entity left, but not without a warning. When Dan posted the footage, one viewer caught something chilling that almost no one noticed. The cross on his wall disappeared, then reappeared upside down. Now, for those unfamiliar, that's not just some coincidence. According to spiritualists, an inverted cross appearing spontaneously is a powerful and clear sign of demonic presence, so this was certainly a demon, and Dan is lucky it walked away. It's always heartbreaking how people with the most peaceful routines end up tangled in unfortunate circumstances, and in Katrina's case, it all started because she unknowingly moved into the wrong house. One quiet morning, she was on her laptop handling work emails when she began hearing strange noises coming from her kitchen. At first, she thought maybe Lucy had knocked something over, but when she glanced at her dog, Lucy wasn't even moving. In fact, she was frozen, eyes locked on the kitchen, ears perked up, and completely still. Something about the way the dog was staring unsettled Katrina. Trusting her instincts, she picked up her phone, hit record, and this is what she captured.
Okay guys, it's just me and Lucy up here. I was just listening to music. I was on the laptop, and we're hearing something in the kitchen. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Come on, Lou, come on. Hello? Hello?
That footage might look subtle to some, a noise here, a flicker there, but for anyone who's ever lived through a real haunting, you know the early signs, and the dog's behavior confirmed it. The days that followed were even more unsettling, but all of a sudden, one of the tenants in the building moved out, and the landlord offered Katrina the newly vacated room. After weeks of trying to ignore it, Katrina finally compiled all the footage she had and sent it to a well-known ghost hunter in her city. Now, a date has been set for the house to be cleansed. This next clip was recorded by two friends who had flown out to Albania for a much-needed vacation, but unfortunately, whatever has been haunting them all year didn't think they deserved a break. One quiet afternoon, they were relaxing, and a few moments later, they heard footsteps coming from upstairs. They grabbed their phone, started recording, and then this happened.
I have some fitness for you.
That happened a few hours ago, guys. Me and my mate have been followed abroad. We went to Germany. There was activity, so we've come over to Albania for the second half of the holiday. Something's followed us over. Last night it was banging on the upstairs. This morning we've seen shadows on the stairs coming down. So we've set the camera up. You've seen what happened there, guys.
Now, if they looked slightly too calm for what just happened, there's a reason. They weren't shocked because they knew what it was, as this wasn't their first encounter. The truth is, this spirit has been tormenting them since the beginning of the year with strange dreams, sleep paralysis, scratch marks on their backs, bruises on their legs, and more than once, they've woken up with nosebleeds and burning sensations, as if something unseen was attacking them in their sleep. And now, even on vacation, it followed them. After this last incident, they finally reached out to a ghost hunter, sent him the clip, and that was enough to get them an urgent appointment. We sincerely wish them the best in banishing this long-serving spirit. In the following video, Marcus Belton was driving home through Ravens Hollow, Maine, exhausted after a long shift and just wanting to crawl into bed. But as he entered his street, his headlights lit up his driveway and he saw something that took him off guard.
Okay, so I just got home from work and there should be nobody at my house right now. I mean, it should be completely empty. But I just pulled up and what is that? Is that a person? What the fuck is that? There should be nobody in the house. Nobody at all. Okay, well, guess I'll check it out. Okay.
Someone in a dark hoodie was standing really still and silent by his door, almost like they had been waiting for him the whole time. This was strange because Marcus lived alone, wasn't expecting anyone, and nobody had a spare key, so whoever that was, they definitely weren't supposed to be there. He stepped out of the car and hurried toward the house, but by the time he reached the door, the figure had vanished. Just like that, no sound, no running, no one walking away, like the person disappeared into thin air. Marcus looked around, checked for prints or any sign sign someone had actually been there, but he didn't find a single trace. He tried to make sense of it, but the only explanation that stuck was the one he didn't want to believe. A paranormal entity had been there. This video was recorded at a primary school in Ohio where students and teachers often joke about a ghost said to haunt room 3B. You'll hear things like, "Say hi when you walk past room 3B, he likes it." Everyone knew who he was supposed to be, the ghost of a little boy who died long ago and, according to legend, never really left. Most people laughed it off as a harmless story, but that all changed one night when a janitor heard light giggling echoing through the empty hallway. That moment stirred curiosity among some of the teachers, and one Friday evening, they decided to stay late and check the school's security footage from the hallway outside room 3B. They watched in silence, expecting nothing, but then something happened.
Я к нему как-то уже лояльно.
Ну так спокойно.
И что, на одном месте?
Мы все здороваемся с ним теперь.
Да, я ему говорю, привет.
Видишь ребенок?
Видишь, как ребенок.
Когда выходит на черное, его сильно вообще видно. Смотри, снимает. Иди сюда, мы же его... Мы забыли вывести, это можно
вот,
уже на большой экран вывести.
Смотри, на большом экране.
Смотри.
Вот ходит, сейчас спустится, вон он идет, видишь?
Видишь? Вот здесь вообще как ребенок, смотри, да?
Капец, Серёжа, ты видишь?
Ну, конечно, вот и в телефоне
Да.
вот оно тоже.
И в
вот
актовом
он
зале их там 3 штуки играют.
О, ничего
вечером.
себе.
Но они летают.
Они
Здравствуйте.
летают, как бы играют.
Они там не ходят, они
А
летают.
вон сейчас уже на
А я
стенке,
подошла туда
на
к
стенке.
лестнице. К лестнице. Это включила, ничего не снимает телефон там.
At first, it was faint, like a shadow that shouldn't have been there, but as they leaned closer, it looked like a little kid. It started moving, and within seconds, it was gone. Most would have dismissed it if it wasn't caught on camera, but this time, the evidence was undeniable. The footage was later submitted to the school board and eventually shared with a local paranormal investigator. For now, room 3B remains locked after hours, not because of fear, but because they're waiting to see if it happens again. And if it does, the next step might not just be investigation, it could be a full-on cleansing. Devin Hale is a 34-year-old architect living alone in a quiet neighborhood just outside Portland, Oregon. One evening, while relaxing and watching TV like usual, he suddenly heard a loud crash from the kitchen, like a whole stack of plates hitting the floor. He jumped up, ran to check, and that's when things got real. Watch this.
Excuse me. Are you back there again? This has become its favorite spot. Now, and there he is. Okay, that's enough water, please. Okay. Everyone can see you in their reflection, bud. Everyone can see you in their reflection. And it's gone. Okay, I know he's not in here, but I just want anyone who's watching to see. This is too small, but just like it's not. I just wanted you to see. The cabinets are knocking again. I'm leaving. Out. That's enough for today.
He stood there trying to convince himself he had imagined it, because that's what we all do, right? But then the kitchen tap turned on. And no, it wasn't one of those motion sensor types. His tap needed to be turned manually. Still confused, but trying to stay calm, he walked over and turned it off, thinking the problem was solved. But as soon as he stepped back, the tap turned on again. The fact that he had to turn it off himself meant something else must have physically turned it on, and that something was certainly not human. He decided to check the laundry room next door, but as he approached, he saw a dark shadow shaped like a person. He ran into the laundry room, which was completely empty, but he was absolutely sure someone or something was watching him. Ever since that night, the tap in Devin's kitchen has developed a creepy habit. Every single night at exactly exactly 8:13 p.m., it turns itself on. Devin has tried plumbing repairs and even got a new faucet, but nothing changed. At this point, there's no other way to explain it. This was definitely a ghost. He sent the footage to a group of investigators, and based on the behavior and strength of the entity's presence, they concluded it was a demon. I hope he receives all the help he needs. I hate seeing kind and normal people pulled into the world of the paranormal, especially when all they wanted was a sense of peace or closure. Eric and Naomi Dalton live in a quiet neighborhood in Flagstaff, Arizona, and had been missing Eric's late father more than usual lately. One afternoon, in a lighthearted moment, they joked about asking for a sign. One of those, "if you're out there, give us a hint." Moments you never expect to actually work, but what followed made them wonder if someone had truly been listening. Around 12:40 p.m., they were checking on their dog through their indoor camera when they noticed something unusual. See for yourself what the camera picked up. Before you dismiss it as faulty wiring, Eric explained their bedroom faces the bathroom and there's no shared lighting between the rooms. Plus, their blackout curtains are thick and pulled all the way down, so no light should be coming through at all. At first, the faint glow might look like a trick of the eye or a smudge on the camera lens, but then the light begins to move, slowly and deliberately, like someone waving a dim torch back and forth. But this wasn't the first strange thing to happen in their home, but it was the first time it happened in daylight, and Eric said it felt different and stronger this time, like someone or something was truly listening. They've since saged the house, kept a nightlight on in the hallway, and tried to pretend things are back to normal. Hopefully it stays that way. Camille Moreau is a single mom living in Lyon, France, and not long ago, she moved into what she thought was her dream apartment. But it didn't take long before that dream started to feel like a nightmare she couldn't wake up from. One night, just as she was about to fall asleep, she heard a loud bang from somewhere inside the apartment and walked toward the bathroom. She wasn't prepared for what happened next. The toilet seat moved all by itself, and Camille ran into the next room to catch her breath. But before she could even process what she saw, a picture frame that had been sitting perfectly still for weeks fell flat on its face. Things escalated quickly, and before she could move, the door slammed shut, the lights began to flicker, random objects rolled across the floor. Then a slow, eerie melody started playing from somewhere inside the walls, like the building itself was singing. Scared for her kids, Camille did what any good mother would do. She sent her kids to live with their father, but she's still stuck there because all her savings went into that apartment, and now she's asking for help. She has reached out for help and is hoping a paranormal expert can step in and bring some peace back into her life. We wish Camille the best in banishing this spirit once and for all. Some videos are not about what was seen, but more about what was heard, and trust me, it's the kind of sound that stays with you long after the video ends. A family in Pennsylvania decided to check their doorbell camera after the motion detector went off around 3:17 a.m., and when they looked, there was no person outside, no package was dropped off, it was just light. Watch closely and listen carefully to what they found. Small, glowing shapes floating and swirling like they had a mind of their own. But what really gives you chills isn't the light, it's the sound. The faint, scratchy voice loops repeatedly, saying, "Can you tell me how to get?" And that's it. The question never finishes. It just repeats over and over, like someone stuck in time, trying to ask something they never get to say. Some believe it's a lost spirit asking for directions in the only way it knows how. Others think it's simply residual energy trapped in a loop. But with no one there, no interference, and no technical faults to explain what was captured, this was certainly a ghost. A security supervisor at a museum in California worked there for 3 years, and from day one, people warned him the elevator was haunted, but he dismissed it as just another strange workplace story. Over time, the weird stories kept coming, and during one of his night shifts, at exactly 3:40 a.m., he witnessed something he couldn't explain. Watch what the camera caught that night. The inside light of the elevator by right suddenly turned on, and it stayed on for nearly an hour and a half, until 5 a.m. The next day, they ran a full diagnostic on the elevator, electrical tests, door sensors, motion detectors, but there were no malfunctions, no power surges, absolutely nothing to explain what happened. But let's be real, elevators don't activate themselves for over an hour without cause, and if no one was inside, then something else was. Whether it was the restless ghost people whispered about, or a more powerful entity tied to the building, one thing's clear, this wasn't a glitch. It was paranormal. Shortly after, they brought in a priest to bless the building, and the elevator specifically, they even closed off the elevator for 2 weeks. We hope this will be the end of the paranormal activity. Jane and her partner recently booked a night at a hotel they've heard several stories about, like doors opening and closing on their own, and guests checking out early with pale faces and nervous laughter. But instead of getting scared, they got curious. They didn't just want stories, they wanted proof, and that's exactly what their camera caught.
It's okay. I can see you. Come to me. Are you a little boy? It's okay. Come here. It's okay. I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but it looks like it's going like back and forth. You see a movie? See a movie?
Oh.
It's okay.
No, wait. Come back.
Where?
No, you come back. Go straight, look straight towards me. No, turn towards me like you were earlier. Put your back towards me.
With no footsteps and no sound at all, the shadow was still, till it started moving. Instead of freaking out, Jane leaned forward, but her partner was clearly feeling nervous, so he told her to step back, and that's when a shadow moved across the room. It looked like the shadow of a child, and was fast like something alive and playful. The couple barely slept that night, and when the sun came up, they packed their bags and checked out without looking back. After reviewing the footage back home, Jane and her partner decided to send it to a local paranormal investigator who had studied that hotel for years. What he told them confirmed what they already felt in their gut. The shadow wasn't a trick of the light. In fact, similar sightings had been reported before, all pointing to the same room, the same childlike figure. The expert believes the spirit might still be searching for her family, for peace, or simply for someone to notice. One thing's for sure, now that she's been seen again, the activity may only grow stronger. Kelsey Davis always thought being a mom meant dealing with tantrums, toys scattered across the floor, and the occasional sleepless night, but never in her wildest dreams did she imagine that bedtime would become the most terrifying part of her day. It started when her young son began having full conversations with no one there, pausing like he was listening to someone speak back. She brushed it off at first as just an imaginary friend, but something about the way he responded didn't sit right with her. One night, she decided to record him.
Who are you saying goodnight to?
Him. Good night.
Who?
Him. Good night.
Jagger, there's no one up there.
Him up there.
Show me.
Him up there. Him up there.
Jagger, there's no one up there. He's been talking to that vent and then he was blowing it kisses. And I'm creeped out now. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. I'm so creeped out right now.
Her son stood in his room, looked toward the ceiling, and calmly said goodnight to an empty corner. Kelsey didn't see anything unusual, but the room didn't feel right, so she shared the footage with a group of ghost hunters to see if they could make sense of it. For now, the situation remains unresolved, and while the activity hasn't stopped, she's hoping the team steps in soon to help figure out what is sharing the room with her son. Jake never believed in ghosts, not as a kid, not as a teen, and not even after his uncle passed away, leaving behind his old garage where he spent most of his time fixing things. The space had been untouched for years, his tools still on the bench, his jacket still on the hook, like he'd be back any minute. Then one night, something strange happened. While Jake was scrolling through his phone, he heard the door slowly open on its own, and while he brushed it off at first, the light inside turned on by itself. But the switch was an old manual one, so it made no sense that it would come on by itself. He checked the footage again and again, searching for some explanation, convinced he'd missed something, but the video showed no movement until he turned the volume up and heard uneven footsteps coming from inside the garage. This only convinced him the situation was far from ordinary, and that sometimes the dead don't rest quietly. They just keep doing what they always did, waiting for someone to notice.